Hey, what's up? My name is Cade, and today I want to talk to you about a very important topic. Does FTM bottom growth size really matter at the end of the day? Yes and no. Let me tell you why. Most of the time when people ask the question, does size matter? It usually relates to sex. For trans masc people, there are a few other reasons that I would really like to point out because it's not just about like sexual things with size. So we are all on the same page. When I'm saying does size matter, I'm referring to a T-dick, or to get on terms so everybody knows exactly what I'm talking about, when an AFAB individual takes testosterone, they have growth. So basically their clit turns into a tiny penis, just without the balls. Most trans masc people like to call it a T-dick or bottom growth. Starting with yes. Yes, size matters if you're trying to get a packer that's more of like an extension. So I know there are a few companies that offer things like this. Specifically, the one that I'm trying to save up for because it's really expensive is the Hot Rod, or the Rod from Transthetics. And it's not just a normal packer, you actually roll it on to your bottom growth. But from the reviews that I've read online and like the recommendations, you usually need at least about 1 inch of growth for it to actually stay on you. Side note though, I am definitely saving up to be able to review that for you in the future. Another reason why size does matter is if you're going to get a Phytoplasty, which is one of the 2 bottom surgery options for trans folk. Well, trans masc folk. Some people refer to it as Phytoplasty or meta, so I'm just gonna stick with meta. Size only matters for bottom surgery if you are also going to get the urethral lengthening to be able to stand to pee with getting just the Phytoplasty. So you would at least need to have enough size to where if you were gonna stand to pee after the Phytoplasty, you could actually like pee over your pants. So I've seen a lot online, a lot of people recommend maybe 1.5 to 2 inches. It is extremely differentiating. Like, it really just depends on the surgeon that you might be going to. But in this circumstance, if you're gonna get a UL with a meta, it is important. But I have seen online that if you're not quite to where you need to measure up to, a lot of surgeons recommend that you pump about 6 months prior to getting bottom surgery. And when I say pump, I mean it's very similar to a cis men pump their penis, and it's very similar. This is the size made for trans masc people that have already had a little bit of growth. If you want to be able to get some more size, and especially when you pump consistently, you get, you know, an actual longer lasting size, and like this is something that you really are wanting, try pumping. So you might not be able to get to the amount of growth that you're hoping for a Phytoplasty. But don't worry, in a moment I'm going to be talking about Phytoplasty, which size does not matter for that. The biggest question that so many people ask is, does size matter for sex and pleasure? This one is a yes and no type of category, so it'll be really easy to just transition into the no's after this. Let's start out with yes, it is important to have at least a little bit of growth. From my personal experience, whether it is myself or different partners, size does matter if you are trying to penetrate, like doing anal and things like that. You need a little bit of size and some hardness to it, especially if you're doing some booty stuff. Keep in mind, even if you have 1 inch or 3/4 of an inch, there's still a really good chance that you're still gonna be doing that penetration. Some people, even after taking testosterone, do not get any growth, even if you do not have a lot of growth. This is my biggest example that I like to use because it is like super cheap, like less than $15, and it doesn't matter what size you have going on. I really recommend this regardless if you're a pre-T or whatever. So if you are smaller in size, what you can do is flip this inside out, and let's say, you know, this is your little T-dick or your partner's little, you know, T-dick. You just put this on your other finger and rub back and forth, side to side, like that. It has really nice ridges on it, so you're gonna be getting a lot of unique sensations. If you are pumping or you're in your first 2 years of being on testosterone where your dick can have more chance to grow by itself without pumping, it can go from pleasuring yourself like this, or your partner giving you some pleasure, you know, with this, and then slowly being able to flip it inside out, you can adjust the hole, like the size of the hole, because this looks like a lot to be able to, you know, go in there. You can adjust the size of the hole by like pinching it, so the hole is really small, so you can still, you know, have that stroking motion while being able to have like a different range of sizes. Keep in mind that if you are still wanting to do penetration, you can still use like other toys. There's nothing wrong with using strap-ons. Prosthetic penises are amazing. Now, enough about the sexual stuff. As I was mentioning before, if you do not have a lot of size and you're looking to get bottom surgery and you want to desperately be able to stand to pee, I encourage you to look into getting Phytoplasty instead. That is not actually made with your natural growth. For some people, depending on the positioning of their body, they're able to have their T-dick at the base of their new created phallus, but everybody's bodies are like made different, and sometimes the angle just does not match up. If you want to be able to stand to pee, have a for sure considerate amount of penetration, I think that, you know, Phytoplasty is a good option, and the size of your T-dick does not matter. Regardless if you have an 1/8 of an inch or 4 inches, you are still completely valid. You still have a cute little T-dick, or whatever you'd like to call it. You have so many options though, whether it is a sexual thing or not. Just don't get too like hard on yourself regardless of what size you have. But of course, if you do not have a lot going on, and you want to try to increase what you have, something that I know has for sure worked for me is to do some pumping. So if you do want to learn more about like pumping and different like pump options, especially if you're on the smaller side, you want to slowly grow up to, you know, a larger size like this, go ahead and check out my video right here. I go in depth about that type of thing. And if there's anything else that you have any questions about like pumping, bottom growth, anything like that, I'm pretty knowledgeable, as you can see from my past videos. So I hope you have a great day. I'll see you next time. Peace.